morning, and many of them have joined us here today, and we're delighted by that they've joined us for the scholarship brunch. Faculty, staff, and students are incredibly grateful to all of our donors, many of whom are here today as well, for their financial support. And we're going to recognize the student scholarship recipients in attendance today, along with their awarded scholarship funds. And students, please come to the front when I call your name, along with the fund's donor, if they're in attendance. We're going to have your picture taken over here with Sean Hill. Some students may be called to the front more than once, as many of our scholarship awards have multiple funds. So we'll begin this morning with the Albert C. Book Advertising Scholarship, which recognizes a long-standing professor in our advertising program, Al Book. The criteria are to be a PR major with a 3.1 GPA or above, and the recipient is Skylar Reistman. The donor is Glenn Frent. If you'd both come forward, get your picture taken. Congratulations. Next is the Alfred Bud Pagel Scholarship, named in honor of our legendary journalism professor, Uncle Bud, Alfred Bud Pagel. The criteria, a journalism major with a desire to pursue a career in news editorial, and the recipient this year is Naomi Dalkamiller. Please come forward. The Ann and George Fuller Scholarship in Broadcasting, criteria junior, a broadcast major. We have two recipients this year, Nia Johnson and Brendan Evers. The Arch Rival Trend Research Fund criteria, CoJMC major, an interest in trend research, and yacht participation. Arch Rival founded by alums of our college. This year's recipient making a return visit to the front is Skylar Reistman. Skylar? The Bailey Lauerman Fund for Student Opportunity criteria, junior, add PR major, someone who demonstrates participation in activities or organizations that promote and celebrate diversity and demonstrate an interest in pursuing a career in ADPR. The recipient this year is Drew Baldridge. Congratulations. The Ben Kuroki Journalism Scholarship criteria, be a journalism major, and our award recipient this year is Nicole Tinius. The Bettina L. Baker Memorial Scholarship criteria, GPA of 3.0 or greater and an advertising public relations major. The recipient this year is Emma Izzo. The Bob and Mary Kay Gherkin Advertising Scholarship criteria, advertising PR major. The recipient is Emma Cato. The donor is Joanna Nordhughes. The Bert and Richard James Scholarship, criteria journalism major, GPA of 3.0 or above, and the recipient this year is Paloma Sanchez McGee. I don't know that Paloma's able to be with us this morning. We'll move on to the Carl Keith Scholarship, criteria sophomore or above with a desire to pursue a career in editing. Recipient this year is Leslie Kahn. A scholarship in the name of Charlene and Denny Behrens. Charlene, a longtime faculty member in journalism, and he's also an acting dean at one point. And they have a Peer Mentor Award with the criteria of students who serve as peer mentors for incoming freshmen in CoJMC and serve as part of the JOMC 100 first-year experience. We have a number of recipients this year. They include Maddie Ames, Emily Arnold, Drew Baldridge, Megan Buffington, Melena Donay, Holly Fisher, Haley Geringer, Lily Hinkle, Emma Izzo, Macy Newmeister, Maddie Reisbig, Kara Stone, and Tommy Thorpe. If you'd all come forward. The Cheryl Butler Scholarship criteria: be a CoJMC major and of proven academic achievement, and the recipient this year is Grace Ridgely. The Chipotle Mexican Grill Advertising Scholarship criteria: ADPR major, showing academic achievement. The recipient this year, Natalie Johnson. The Chloe and Emil Reitzel Fund criteria: be a CoJMC major from a Nebraska high school. A number of recipients this year, including Emma Cato, Kristen Collins, Mason Dover, Ben Drozd, Bethany Everts, Samantha Grove, Alexa Harrington, Hayden Haug, Emma Izzo, Evelyn Mejia, Emily Ortiz Cantu, Angelina Patavina, Sarah Person, Brett Powers, Zoe Reeves, Janesse Heppert, Grace Ridgely, Chloe Schock, and Nicole Tinius. Come on up, y'all. Next is a scholarship in the name of legendary battlefield correspondent Colonel Barney Oldfield. Criteria: be a junior or senior in journalism, and the recipient is Naomi Dalkemiller. Next, the Colonel Marvin Thompson Scholarship criteria: journalism or sports media and communication major with showing academic achievement. The recipients: Faith Worden, and Sam Rajeski. Our next scholarship is named in honor of our emeritus faculty member in journalism and former department chair, Darrell Frizzell. The criteria: journalism major and a desire to pursue a career in news editorial. The recipient this year is Anthony Rubeck. Next, we have the Dean's Commitment CoJMC 1-for-1 Scholarship. We're pleased to have the donor here today because she's the Dean, Sherry Vale, and our recipient is Miranda Smith. Next is the Denman Jr. and Alice Kuntz Fund, the criteria being a journalism major. The recipient is Joel Bierbauer. Next is a scholarship named after the longtime sports information director, legendary sports information director at the University of Nebraska, Don Bryant, and his wife, Joan, otherwise known as Fox and Petey. Their scholarship recipients need to be a junior or senior in journalism. The recipient this year is Ben Drozd, and we're pleased to have Bill and Linda Bryant Asa here with us this morning to accept our thanks. Fox and Petey'd be proud. Next, the Donald and Lorena Meyer Academy of Scholars, criteria CoJMC major, showing academic achievement. We have recipients of Marissa Lindeman and Emerson McClure, and representing the Meyer Foundation is my broadcasting colleague, Barney McCoy. Barney, we'll have you stick around because you're up for the next couple as well. The Donald and Lorena Meyer Master Communications Scholarship criteria, junior or senior with a GPA of 3.0 or above, with an interest or a career in multimedia. The recipients are Leilani Diaz and Natalie Frick. And once again, representing the Meyer Foundation is Barney McCoy. You're not quite done yet, Barney. Stick around for one more. The Donald T. Meyer Nebraska Broadcasters Association Scholarship criteria, a broadcasting major from a Nebraska high school with high scholastic ability, and our recipient this year is Alexa Harrington. Okay. Yeah, you're done, Barney. You finish your croissant. Next is the Dorothy and Ed Cooper Scholarship for Business and Economics, reporting the criteria, junior or senior, majoring in journalism or broadcasting. The recipient, Jalen Gross and Nia Johnson. Congratulations. Next is the Edgecombe Family Scholarship with a criteria of a journalism major with someone desiring to pursue a career in news editorial. The recipient, Sam Rahiski. Sam? Okay. The Essex Scholarship criteria, sophomore, junior, or senior, majoring in journalism with a 3.0 or above GPA. The recipient this year is Chloe Schock. Next is the Ethel and John Bentley Sports Journalism Scholarship. Criteria, junior or senior level, journalism or sports media and communications major. The recipients, Brendan Evers and Jackson Hamlin. The Eugene S. Robb Memorial Fund criteria include being a journalism major with a GPA of 3.0 or greater. The recipient this year is Ruth Bailey. The Frank Anderson Memorial Scholarship criteria includes being a CoJMC major with high academic achievement. The recipient this year is Tenley Wright. George Round was a longtime agricultural communications writer, producer for the Ag Communications program here on campus. We have the George and Margaret Round Memorial Fund with primary criteria broadcast major of high academic achievement. Two recipients this year, Chloe Bogard and Marissa Lindeman. Our next scholarship named in honor of our emeritus Professor George Tuck, our longtime photojournalism instructor of world-class photography renown. The criteria, journalism major with an interest in photojournalism. This year's recipient, Joel Bierbauer. Our next scholarship named in honor of the longtime journalist here in Lincoln, Gilbert Savory. It's the Gil Savory Sigma Delta Chi Scholarship with the criteria of journalism or broadcasting as a major, high academic achievement, and demonstrating leadership. We have 4 recipients this year: Nolan Benbow, Seamus Doyle, Matthew McMaster, and Kevin Splitberger. The Gus Benz Scholarship, criteria advertising and public relations major with a GPA of 3.0 or above. The recipient this year is Natalie Johnson. Next is the Gwen and Dick Lindbergh Scholarship with criteria of being a journalism major of academic achievement with a desire to pursue a career in newspapers. Our recipient this year is Samantha Grove. If you've been in our building, you probably know it's named after Harold W. and Marion L. Anderson. They also have an honors scholarship with criteria of being a journalism major with a GPA of 3.5 or above. We have 3 recipients this year: Emma Bullerman, Sam Muggenberg, and Sophia Walsh. Next is the Harry T. Dobbins Memorial Scholarship in Journalism. Criteria, any COJ major. Showing high academic achievement, our recipient this year is Chloe Bogart. Chloe, I'll have you stick around because you're up for the next one as well. It's the Hazel L. Stebbins Memorial Scholarship. Criteria, junior or senior, broadcasting major with potential for a successful professional career. And along with Chloe, our other recipient this year is Sarah Person. Next is the Helen and Lewis Gertis Scholarship with criteria, journalism major and academic achievement. Sam Rajewski, again, is our recipient this year. I'm not sure Sam's been able to join us this morning. So we'll move on to the J. Hyde Sweet and Arthur Ringsby Sweet Memorial Journalism Scholarship. You need to be a junior or senior for this one and high academic achievement with a primary interest in print media. We have two recipients this year, Caitlin Gish and Jay Kumado. Next is the J. Steve Davis Jumpstart Fund. Criteria, someone who's an advertising intern in a large metropolitan market outside of Nebraska with a preference for students who come from a smaller Nebraska community of a population under 25,000. Our recipient for this internship this year is Valeria Uribe. The J. Stewart Elliott Fund, criteria, academic achievement, promise of leadership and good moral character. Three recipients this year, Holly Fisher, Skylar Reistman, and Chloe Schock. Skylar, you can stick around up front. You're on the next one as well. That's the J.C. Seacrest Scholarship with criteria open to any CoJMC major with academic achievement. Several recipients this year, including Leslie Kahn, Jeff Grace III, Jackson Hamlin, Alexa Harrington, Tyler Hurst, Natalie Johnson, Layla Omari, Lauren Pennington, Olivia Reed, Skylar Reistman, Anthony Rubeck, Ella Siegel, and Miranda Smith. Next is the Jack Fisher Scholarship with criteria, being a journalism major with a desire to pursue a career in news reporting or editing. Our recipient this year is Lexi Worden. The James E. LaRosignol Memorial Scholarship criteria include being an advertising and public relations major, an enrolled senior level, academic achievement, and showing leadership capabilities. Our recipient this year is Natalie Frick. For years, the college's graphics and typography instructor was James Morrison. We have a scholarship in his name with criteria being a journalism major with academic achievement, and our recipient this year is Janice Reppert. The Jerry and Carla Hughes Editorial Support Endowment must be a journalism major. The recipients this year, and there are a number of them again, Ruth Bailey, Mara Carmona Ponce, Naomi Dalkamiller, Adeline Didier, Alexandra Grzanski, Kristen Haskell, Mackenzie Lewis, and Lauren Rayner, if you would all come forward. Next is the Jim and Meg Lauerman Scholarship, criteria advertising and public relations major with a GPA of 3.0 or above. Our recipient this year is Faith Warden. First guy I met my first day on campus was Jim Patton in our journalism faculty. He was my academic advisor for a while, and Jim and Patricia Patton Fund as a scholarship with criteria of journalism major. Our recipients this year, Janice Reppert and Anthony Rubeck. The Joanne K. and Michael J. Baxter Journalism Scholarship with criteria to any CoJMC major with a GPA of 3.0 or above, and our recipient this year is Lauren Pennington. The June Bierbauer Memorial Scholarship criteria, journalism, broadcasting, or sports media and communication major with a desire to pursue a career in sports journalism, and our recipient this year is Chloe Bogard. The King Family Scholarship criteria, journalism major with a desire to pursue a career in news editorial. Two recipients this year, Lauren Pennington and Nicole Tinius. We have a number of Kinman Oldfield Journalism Scholarship students who are getting recognition this morning, and so we'll ask you to start coming forward as we read your name. Alyssa Bigley, Cadence Blackstock, Haley Christensen, Lily Doman, Katie Freeman, Raul Gomez, Kason Harlan, Catherine Holling, Harmon Johnson, Molly Kiefer, Avery Lawson, Blake Mace, Daniel Mahoney, Jordan Mondia, Brady Rasso, Alexandra Reed, Charlie Salinas, Anna Van Brocklin, Ellie Volk, and Rianne Zeckman. It's like summer camp all over again. The Chris Malkowski Fund criteria: internship award for an advertising and public relations major pursuing a low-paying or unpaid internship. Our recipient this year is Mallory Cumley. I don't know that Mallory's able to be with us. All right, we'll move on to the Lad Duryea Scholarship, criteria sophomore, junior, or senior in the top 25% of their class, a Nebraska high school graduate, and a recipient this year is Ben Drozd. The Lee Foundation Lincoln Journal Star Scholarship criteria include being an advertising and public relations or journalism major. Two recipients this year, Kayla Dahl and Kaylee Zolman. Next is the Lester Walker Print Media Journalism Scholarship, open to any CoJMC major showing academic achievement. A permanent resident of the Fremont, Nebraska media market. Several recipients this year: Mallory Comley, Melissa Kuhl, Leanne Kruger, Megan O'Brien, Evie Storjohn, Haley Teneper, and Truman Wood. The Lincoln Journal Star Scholarship criteria: journalism major with a potential career in journalism and of upper class standing. Our recipient this year is Jessica Meza. I don't believe Jessica's with us. We'll continue on with the Linda S. and Harry J. Argue Fund. Criteria: CoJMC major with a sophomore class standing or above and a 2.5 GPA or greater. Our recipient this year is Macy Neumeister. Congratulations, Macy. The Lloyd E. Peterson Scholarship criteria: sophomore, junior, or senior journalism major with a GPA of 3.0 or above, and our recipient, Joel Bierbauer. The Lori Sweet Memorial Fund criteria: advertising and public relations major, cumulative GPA of 3.0 or above from a Nebraska high school. The recipient is Emma Cato. The Lucy Mendenhall Memorial Scholarship criteria: junior or senior standing. Our recipient this year is Jalen Gross. The Lyle Brimser Memorial Scholarship criteria: broadcast journalism major with a GPA of 3.0 or above. Our recipient this year is Seamus Doyle. You have to chant man, woman, and child when you come up and get this one. The Mark D. Billingsley Scholarship criteria: journalism major with an interest in photojournalism. The recipient, Paloma Sanchez McGee, and I don't believe she's able to be with us this morning. So we'll move on to the Mary Snow Memorial Scholarship, criteria any CoJMC major with an interest in communications, multimedia, or sports management. The recipient is Brett Powers. And I'm not sure Brett was able to join us this morning either, so we'll move on to our next group, and it is a group of students again for the Matusik Award for Student Leadership with criteria students who are chosen to be an Experience Lab lead for the College of Journalism and Mass Communications. Our recipients are Kristen Collins, Naomi Dalkamiller, Helen Howard, Abby Lane Cloak, Marissa Lindeman, Alex Neal, Macy Neumeister, Jay Kumado, Elena Tomish, Cameron Snyder, Abel Yubari, and Kaylee Zolman. Our donor is Mark Matusik. Mark, thank you. And Mark, stay up here if you would for the next award as well. It's the Matusik Family Scholarship, awarded to a student with advertising and public relations as their major, demonstrating excellence in writing for print, broadcast, or marketing communications. Two recipients this year, Tyler Hurst and Madeline Tequila. The Max Brown Memorial Scholarship is awarded to a student who is a broadcasting major showing academic achievement. Our recipients this year the recipient this year is Hayden Haug, and the donors are Eric and Ruth Brown. Lots of CoJMC ties in this family. Eric Brown is a legendary name in broadcasting. Ruth was a professor in our college for a long time, and you might know their daughter, Valerie Jones, who teaches for us as well. So thanks for all the great connections there, Eric. The McCaffrey Emerging Media Scholarship, criteria CoJMC major with a second major, minor, or concentration in computer science, informatics, or tech-related fields, a sophomore or above with a GPA of 3.25 or above, and a desire to pursue a career using technology to chart a new path in media and media innovation following graduation. Malachi Holmes is our recipient this year. Michael and Catherine Depa Freedom of Press Scholarship. The criteria, broadcasting major with a desire to pursue a career in broadcasting. Kristen Collins is our recipient of the Depa Foundation Award. Longtime faculty member in journalism and in our graduate program who passed away within the last year or so, Mike Strickland. The Michael Strickland Scholarship goes to someone with a journalism major showing academic achievement. Anthony Rubeck is our recipient this year of the Mike Strickland Scholarship. The Michelle Wallens Fund, criteria any CoJMC major working to fund their own education. The recipient this year is Ben Anderson with Faith Warden, and we're happy to have the donor, Michelle Wallens, here with us as well. The Mildred Storer Wilson Memorial Scholarship, criteria journalism major with academic achievement. The recipient, Anthony Rubeck. The Miller Family Scholarship criteria, journalism major with high academic achievement. The recipient is Samantha Grove. The N Fund College of Journalism and Mass Communication Scholarship criteria, CoJMC major with a GPA of 2.5 or greater. Recipients attending include Charlotte Gottfried, Brianna Hopping, Grace Lallam, Avron Shart, and Anna Wambacher, and we're pleased to have the donor, Mario Scalara, with us this morning as well. Mario, thank you. The Nancy Foreman Scholarship criteria, open to any CoJMC major. Recipients, Olivia Davenport, Noah Post, and Thomas Thorpe. The Neola Scala Journalism Scholarship, open to journalism majors from Nebraska High School and in the top 5% of their high school graduating class. Recipients, Lucia Mendez and Shelby Rickert. The Norris Alfred Fund Scholarship to a journalism major with academic achievement. This year's recipient is Emerson McClure. The Norris Heineman Memorial Scholarship criteria, broadcasting major with an interest in pursuing a career in radio or television. The recipient, Emily Ortiz Cantu. The Otto W. Dora and Arthur F. Wolf Scholarship, criteria journalism major, junior or senior class standing, with a desire to work in print journalism and a preference given to graduates of high schools in Madison, Clay, or Adams County. The recipient this year is Angelina Patavina. The Omaha Press Club Scholarship criteria, providing at least 6 scholarships from the Press Club to deserving students who are junior class standing and are the most promising in their fields, who have demonstrated promise and commitment to a career in their field, primarily through publication or airing of their work. Our recipients, Megan Buffington, Marissa Krause, Valerie Reba, and Jacob Vanderford. The Pamela George Ungashik Scholarship, the criteria, junior or senior, journalism major with a GPA of 3.5 or above, active participation and involvement in extracurricular campus activities. This year's recipients, Leanne Bugay and Kara Stone. The Philip Perry Photo Challenge has become a real hallmark of our college each year. The Photo Challenge is a photojournalism competition where students get 24 hours to go shoot pictures that tell a story based on how they interpret the theme provided to them each year. The top 3 students are awarded. They include Meredith Gamet, Jordan Moore, and Amber Rodriguez. Many of us in the room who are alums of the college remember Professor Peter Mayu, retired several years ago. He is the donor for the Peter Mayu Scholarship with the criteria of being a broadcasting major with a 3.5 or above GPA and a desire to pursue a career in the broadcasting industry. Our recipient this year is Leslie Kahn. The Richard Clare de Brown Scholarship has criteria of any College of Journalism and Mass Communications major. Our recipients this year, Molly Kiefer, Edwin Lopez, Delaney Neitzel, and Keegan Oliveira. Next time you walk past the plaza coming into the building on the Capitol Mall side, you'll see the name Richard and Margaret Holman. They have also endowed a scholarship open to journalism or broadcasting majors. Our recipients this year, Caitlin Gish and Sarah Lawler. The Richard and Marilyn Wright Scholarship in Journalism to a journalism or broadcasting major with a GPA of 3.0 or above with an interest in science writing and reporting. Our recipient this year is Hayden Haug. The Robert and Todd Storrs Memorial Broadcast Scholarship with criteria broadcasting major, freshman class standing with an opportunity for renewal and a demonstration of academic excellence. Our recipients this year include Camille Andelt, Brittany Castaneda, Nathan Ertzner, Lillian Flynn, Davison Kryling, Ellen Pham, Nolan Raquel, Nandini Renikindi, and Jacqueline Ruiz Rodriguez. Next up is the Roper Sports Writing Grant. The Dana and Lynn Roper Sports Writing Competition is open to all undergraduate and graduate students, in which it tests their ability to produce clear, concise, accurate, and compelling stories about sports. Our recipient this year is Marissa Krause. Roger Larson has endowed a scholarship. Roger was also my boss for a long time at KFOR Radio, one of the best humans I've ever known. Criteria for this scholarship, a broadcasting major with academic achievement, and our recipient this year is Evelyn Mejia. The Ruth and Carl Ohlenberger Scholarship for Journalism. Criteria, journalism major, sophomore standing or above, with an expressed desire to pursue a career in the area of news. 2 recipients this year, Caitlin Gish and Jennifer Torres. The Ruth Pike Scholarship, criteria being a journalism major with academic achievement. Our recipient this year, Macy Neumeister. The Sandy and Larry Lutz Reporting Scholarship, criteria, junior or senior from a Nebraska high school with a GPA of 3.0 or above, with a desire to pursue a career in news reporting. Our recipients this year, Jessica Meza and Lexi Worden. Next is the Steves Memorial Scholarship in Journalism with criteria junior level of the journalism major. Our recipient this year is Bree Sanchez. Not sure she's able to be with us, so we'll move on to the Susan M. Hake Kreifel Scholarship, criteria junior or senior, Nebraska resident, GPA of 3.0 or above. The recipient this year is Angelina Patavina. The Tom Allen Fund in Journalism has criteria of being a journalism major with a preference to students who show an interest to remain and begin their journalism career in Nebraska. Our recipients this year are Edwin Lopez and John Russell. Next up is the UNL College of Journalism Advertising Scholarship to students who are an advertising major showing academic achievement. This year's recipient is Emerson McClure. Next is the UNL Rural Nebraska Journalism Fund, with criteria being an internship fund to support students who participate in a journalism or broadcasting internship that promotes students working 50% or more to cover issues and events in Nebraska, but outside the Omaha and Lincoln metro area. Our recipient, Evelyn Mejia. Next is the Warnicki Family Fund with criteria journalism major with a desire to work for a weekly or smaller daily newspaper. The recipient is Macy Neumeister, and we're so pleased to have the donors Kent and Kevin Warnicki here this morning. Next is the William Randolph Hearst Endowed Scholarship Fund for Excellence in Depth Reporting. The criteria for this, a journalism major with demonstrated excellence in depth reporting. Our recipients this year are Marlo Lang and Layla Omari. And the Willis Van Sickle Scholarship in Still Photography with criteria a journalism major with an interest in photojournalism with academic achievement, and our recipient is Joel Beerbauer. Let's have another round of applause for all of our scholarship recipients and our kind donors. Next, I'd like to welcome Mark Matusik to the microphone. Mark is a native of Albion, a 1977 graduate of our college. He also served on the college's alumni board while living in Lincoln. His career included stops in Omaha, Lincoln, and Kansas City, where he worked for agencies such as SCAR, Bozell, and Bernstein and Rain. Mark also held corporate roles in the Farm Credit Banks of Omaha, Lincoln, Telephone, Sprint, and H&R Block. Today, he's technically retired, but stays connected with the field, marketing through Hill's Science Diet and some other pet product brands. He and his wife, Chris, live in Overland Park, Kansas. Mark and Chris have generously established 3 scholarship programs to support student learning in the College of Journalism and Mass Communications. The Matusik Family Scholarship Fund recognizes advertising and public relations majors who demonstrate excellence in writing for print, broadcast, or marketing communications. The Matusik Family Student Experience Fund benefits and supports professional development opportunities for students in our college. Mark and Chris also established the Matusik Award for Student Leadership, which supports students selected for a leadership role within the college's experiential learning program called the Experience Lab. Please join me in welcoming and thanking Mark Matusik.
Thank you for that warm welcome, but you haven't heard me yet, so I'll take it now when I can. I want to thank the college, Dean Vale, the foundation, and you students for having me here today. It's been quite a trip, and I want to share a little bit with you and how it turned from like to love for the university and where the giving part started. So anyway, that's 10-year-old me, okay? And at that age, I made some decisions subconsciously as to where I'd go to school, what I would try to pursue, and then a very conscious decision knowing that the University of Nebraska football team was my favorite and would be a lifelong love. So, like many boys in Nebraska at that time, and probably still today, I loved playing football. I also loved reading about football in Nebraska. And our media choices back then were quite limited. There was maybe 1 or 2 college games on during the weekend in total. There was no FS1, no ESPN. All the publications that exist today just didn't. So my main source of information was the World Herald. And they had a sports section back in the day called Blue Streak Sports. And so first thing Sunday morning, I'd grab the paper, get the sports section out, and I'd start reading. And the way they covered Nebraska football at that time is really a masterpiece in not only the words, but the pictures. Instead of the close-up pictures that you see today, what they did were these big wide shots as plays developed, and they'd have little labels on the photos, with the player's name, and if it was a long pass, then they would have this dotted line that would go across from the quarterback to the receiver. And I thought, God, that is neat. I wonder if I could do that, So that was kind of it, except for the coach's show that was always on Sunday afternoon. And then you had to wait another 6 days to, get a preview of next week's game, and then the cycle repeated and repeated and repeated. So anyway, taking this interest in reading about football and sports, I said, maybe I could do that for a living. So I took the familiar path of being a sports writer for our school's paper, which was, it was kind of an interesting assignment because the paper came out sporadically, so everything you were doing was well in the past, so there was no news there, but you kind of had to try to make it interesting. Anyway, I did that, got involved with Nebraska High School Press Association, went to a journalism camp at unfortunately, Kansas State, but it was a great camp nonetheless. And then I think the thing that really sealed the deal for me with the university and then School of Journalism was a trip we made. Oh gosh, I don't even remember now. It was the spring of either my junior or senior year. My journalism class from high school was invited down to meet with honest-to-God journalism students and join in a panel discussion of how we consume media and what our likes and dislikes were, and it was an amazing experience. And that really, like I said, sealed the deal for me. I said, I definitely want to come here. And so I did. Now, we were talking about sports and sports writing, and for the first 3 semesters, that's the direction I was headed. But there's somewhere along the way, I turned to the dark side. I changed my major to advertising. And it was still a very amazing experience. In fact, it was the best fit for me. And one of the scholarships, the one that Glenn Frint sponsors, is the Albert C. Book. And Albert C. Book, to know him is to love him. But today, we were discussing at the table, he would probably last about 30 minutes in today's scholastic environment. He was very, very smart, but very to the fact and had a lot of rough edges. But if he liked you, that was great. I mean, he would take you metaphorically under his wing and make you a better student, a better person. So graduated with a advertising degree, and as Rick said in his intro, I had jumped from agency to client side back to agency and so forth. So it's fairly well traveled by this time. But there was another epiphany I had, and this was probably, 20-some years after I left. I came back to Lincoln to work and got involved with the Journalism Alumni Association Board. It was at that time that the university had purchased Anderson Hall, and we did a little tour of not Anderson, but of Avery at the time, just sort of a farewell. And there were a lot of things that I recognized from my days that were, like 20 years past. And when it was discovered that the Anderson had about a trainload of asbestos that would cost $1 million or so for remediation, that really strained the budget. So the board took on a fundraising effort, and we sliced and diced the database, and we were calling friends and acquaintances from our days at school and trying to raise money to buy some furniture. So the old green couch and the table with one corner chewed off would not make the trip to Anderson. And we realized that in order to have a world-class facility, you really needed world-class furniture and other accoutrements. So that opened my eyes to, it really takes a lot of money to run this thing. And that's kind of when I started giving in earnest. And, through the years, there's been good years and bad years in terms of, giving. You can only do what you can do. But originally, we were focused on, individual scholarships, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 a year. But now that has sort of turned a corner where we're casting a wider net, and we want to help more people than just the several that we had helped in years past. So, beginning this year, we'll be funding the leaders in the lab experience, which I've toured, I've talked to some students, and it's an amazing thing. And so we're very, very happy to be involved with that. And I guess finally, to say, the bell goes off, the lights come on for giving at whatever time. I mean, it took me several years before I really got after it. And if you love this place like I do, you will in time come to appreciate it and have warm feelings about it, and will be, be approached to answer the call. And it doesn't matter how much or how often, but it's really a case of, giving from the heart and doing what you know is right for the university and paying back for all the things it did for you. Now, payback is kind of, well, I have a student loan and I've been paying on it for 19 years, and that's it's a little bit of a it's a little bit ironic, but it feels good to do it. I'm happy that we are involved with the programs we are now, and whenever you're ready, give and give early and give often, I guess, in the Chicago model. And in finishing, I just want to say thanks again, and as always, learn big red. Thanks for your time and allowing me to share my story.
Learn Big Red. I sense new swag coming now, Mark, after that. Thank you. Next up, we want to introduce you to one of our students. Many of you know Alex Neal. He's a senior broadcasting and sports media and communication double major from Nashville, Tennessee. He's currently an Experience Team Lab for the KRNU platform in the Experience Lab. And today we've asked him to share how the program has impacted his college experience. Please join me in welcoming Alex Neal.
Good morning, everyone. First off, I just want to say before I start again, let's give another round of applause to Mark Metchsek and his wife Chris, just for supporting the program. And also, we know the Husker game's going on. We're only down by 3. It's okay. The Experience Lab program has been just such an important part of my college career. I've been a part of the program for 2 years as a student within the Experience Lab, and now I'm going, hopefully into my 3rd semester of being a lead into the Experience Lab. And it's just been such an incredible time. If you're one of the donors, you've probably been walking around the college and you've seen me give my little spiel about KRNU and what the Experience Lab is, so hello again. But I'm sure you've heard so much about the Experience Lab. But Sherry and the college has asked me to come and share what it means to me to be a lead, and I think that's super important. I'm really excited to share. The name of the scholarship is the Matusik Award for Student Leadership, and that word leadership is something that prominently stands out to me. As a senior in the CoJMC with experience with a lot of jobs, I currently hold 4 positions on campus. I've taken a lot of different classes, I've had a lot of different volunteer positions, and I've had a lot of different relationships with peers and students and with mentors and with superiors throughout my college years. And I consider myself truly lucky to be able to grow my leadership skills every day at UNL with the Experience Lab. And it just is truly important to understand what this program really gives from our perspectives. I think there's a handful of us, I believe 12 or so, maybe a dozen leaders with 130 something students in the Experience Lab. And it's really cool just to be able to see how that experience and leadership truly translates over in this position. Having a major that prioritizes content and portfolios and experience is a blessing. And programs like this, and with the learning community programs, the various peer mentoring programs on campus, But especially the Experience Lab, it gives us students a chance to really get a taste of what that mentorship and leadership is like. And it's just truly amazing, especially on the job side of the market outside of college. Now, I've been able to take academic courses in my time at UNL over mentorship and leadership, but it truly is amazing to be able to put that into practice, and the Experience Lab is a great way to do that. Our students all across, on all sectors of the Experience Lab, in Nebraska Nightly, in Bowie, Nebraska News Service, Heartland Magazine, Production House, Unlimited Sports, and my section, KRNU, they get a firsthand opportunity to be thrown into the fire, as we like to say. These programs really give students a real taste of the real world with scenarios, deadlines, conflict, problem solving, and other factors. And I'm sure you're plenty aware of this by now. Like I said, you've probably heard my spiel before. But it's just so, the impact that it's had on me and my fellow leads is something that some people tend to overlook just because the students are doing so many amazing things. I count myself truly lucky to be a lead for KRNU, and just seeing how my knowledge and experience has grown over my college career and how I've been able to share that with our students over the past 2 semesters. Growing in that leadership now has made me a better man, a better asset to my future employers, and a better leader amongst my friends and my family, and a better advisor to my students. This program is truly a bright spot on my resume that I will continue to talk about for years and years to come. And I know that whoever replaces Helen and I as leads for KRNU and for all of this, I think there's 3 returning mentors from last semester, but whoever decides to replace us, they're going to be truly special, and they're going to have a truly unique opportunity to continue to grow their leadership skills, their organizational and management skills, and their technical abilities to use the media as a tool for telling stories. So thank you again for all of you guys for supporting us and exporting the Experience Lab program, and thank you to the Matusiks for supporting us as leads. Thank you, and go Big Red.
We're celebrating scholarship recipients today, but looking around the room, I noticed there are also a lot of content award winners in our audience who have entered into the variety of different contests in print, broadcast, advertising, public relations, photojournalism throughout the year. The college is very, very proud of the work that our students produce. We had a banner year of award-winning students last year. And so your donor funds also go to support that kind of excellent content creation. I'll pick on Alex since he was just up here, but he's an example of the kind of work that we do. Alex produces a weekly half-hour program on KRNU called the Subgenrepedia, where he finds a niche area of music, researches it, and writes and produces a really compelling radio program about this niche of music. It won the national award this past year for the best student-produced college radio program in the United States. That's an example. And there are lots of others in this room that have won awards as well. So donors, please know that your gifts continue to give in ways that you can't even imagine when you make that first contact. So I want to thank a lot of people who helped make today's little gathering possible. These things don't happen in a vacuum, as you all know. First and foremost in this list, I want to thank the folks on our scholarship committee who organize all the scholarships during the year and helped organize this event today. Staffed brilliantly, as always, by Tiffany Grodelution, who does hours of work pulling all of this together. Ably assisted today by our on-site folks like Zach Franzen, Elisa Smith, and Henry Shore, who helped at the front desk and make sure everything is running correctly. We'd like to thank the folks who helped make the technical side of this work as well, because they were scrambling a lot today to make things work. Jamie Wenz, who is our technical director extraordinaire in the back of the room, makes things happen. Ably assisted today by student staff of Jay Kimoto and Nolan Raquel. And then the gentleman taking all of our photos today, Sean Hill, our photojournalism instructor. Sean, thank you for your time. The University Foundation coordinates all of these donor funds throughout the year, and we're pleased to have representatives of the foundation here with us today, including Jeremy Lorman and Joanna Nordhus. Thank you both for all that you do for us during the course of the year. And to our CoJMC faculty members, staff, and even some emeritus faculty who are here today, thank all of you for showing up and supporting our students like you do 24 hours a day throughout the year. It's one of the reasons why it's called the CoJMC family, and we mean that in all the good ways of that term. So thank you all as well. But most of all, I want to thank all the students and the donors who joined us this morning to recognize our 2023-24 scholarships and their recipients. To the students, we look forward to seeing you continue to grow and become future journalism and mass communication leaders. To the donors, thank you more than we can adequately say for continuing to support our students and our college. Your support is vital to ensuring that every student who wants a college education has that opportunity to attend the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and we thank you for your generosity. Also, I need to say a note that before a year ago, this activity did not exist. The activities of scholarships and donations and recognition of students was there, but we'd never had a gathering like this to enjoy each other's companionship, to personally connect the donors with the students who got their money. And the thanks for putting all that together rests on the shoulders of our dean, Sherry Vale. So Sherry, thank you for doing this. We encourage you all to spend whatever time you'd like, yet this morning and early afternoon, mingling and getting to know one another. We thank you all for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day.